I place my hands where I want them from the beginning. I'm not going to fumble with this and keep moving my hands around. I put my hands on either side. I gently pull. I don't have a death grip on this, so I'm not doing this and making the paper full. I go about halfway down the instrument. I go to my back table and I pop. Last but not least, I have my instrument tray. Instrument tray, I'm going to pop one side, the other side. I'm going to lift the lid directly up and step away. Next, I'm going to check my filter. That looks good, no holes that aren't supposed to be there. I would throw my filter away in the trash, and then I would put my lid somewhere else. I check inside of my casket and just make sure I can see an indicator in there that has turned the appropriate color. Everything looks great inside of there. Now I am ready to gown and glove. Remember, once again, I either put my gloves in my pocket or on a separate surface. I do not stick my gloves in here. Pits are not clean. We do not put anything in any kind of pit. I open my gown. And remember, I can just reach in and grab this because this part isn't sterile. It was when it was in there, but it's not now. I can reach in and grab this because I'm going to open this and make a sterile field. Once again, tongue is pointing towards me. I want it to stick its tongue out at me. I pull that tongue and I hold. And with my right hand, I can hold this. My arm is not over the top of the sterile field. I hold the very tip of that tongue. I grab the next tongue by the very tip with my left hand and I open. Now I drop my right hand, grab the tip of the tongue, open, drop my left hand, grab, and open. And now I have a little mini sterile field. Now comes my gloves that are similar to a peel pack. Once again, we pop the top. I'm going to hold where I want my fingers. As I'm peeling this pack down, if you notice, I am taking my fingers along the edge and popping out those corners. The best I can anyways. This corner is being very stubborn. There we go. And that way, I don't end up contaminating the gloves because they won't come out of the package. I fold halfway down without reaching over my sterile field. I pop, and my gloves are on my sterile field. All right, next I go avant-garde my hands. Avant-garde, we are going to take 1 squirt, 2 squirts. We are going to rub our fingernails inside of the avant-garde. We are then going to do our fingers, not forgetting the insides of the fingers, and then we're going to go up our arm. We're going to get 1 last squirt of avant-garde. Whoops, that was all over the floor. And then we do our hands 1 last time. We don't go back up our arms. We keep this on our hands. And we hope that it dries as we are walking back into our room to get our gown. Okay, when I grab my gown, I grab from the top. I don't try to grab any of the sides. I grab straight on the top I grab the gown and the towel at this point, or I can just grab the towel and throw the towel away. Either way is correct. But I grab always from the top, get a big handful, bring the gown towards me. Now, the gown has little pockets and lettering. I want all of that facing me. So I want my hands in the pockets. I take a step back from my sterile field so I don't hit anything. I release my gown. Okay. Now I'm going to swim one arm at a time. I'm going to watch my first arm as it swims into the gown. I bring this arm right across my belly, not up here, belly part. I look at my second arm. It swims in across my belly. Now I put my hands just right at the end of the cuffs. I lay my cuffs into my palm. Into the palm. Now I have my little lobster pinchers. Now I'm going to stick my booty way out. Show everybody what my mama gave me. Booty way out. I can take this arm, put it across my gown so my gown doesn't fall even though I'm not tied up. Pick up my gloves and open them and place them back on my sterile field. I can reach in, grab my sterile glove. I put my hands so my fingers are about halfway into the white part. Remember going thumb to thumb, fingers pointing towards me. I grab the cuff on either side and flip. Stopping right here where all my fingers are floppy, I grab my gown and my cuff and pull so my fingers come just barely out of my cuff. Okay. Second side, same thing. We reach in, fingers halfway, thumb to thumb, grabbing the cuff on either side, flip, stop just as the gown gets right there, the glove gets right there, it's floppy. I pull on both. When my hands are through, I just pull my glove. And now I have my white cuffs tucked into my glove. We don't want our white cuffs outside because remember they're not impervious. So they're not sterile after we touch them. Okay, we would have our circulator tie us up at this point, but since I don't have a circulator, I'm here by myself. I'm going to pretend I have a circulator, but we would never, ever, ever touch the back of our gowns. Okay? We would spin with our circulator. So remember we grab our short cord with our left hand, our right hand grabs our tag at the white part. The circulator would grab the green, and then the circulator would walk around us, but I'm going to spin like this, and circulator dropped. Gotta hold on tight, circulator. Right here, nope. My circulator doesn't know what they're doing, so it's okay. I grab right here and I pull and the circulator will hold on to the card stiffly, like they mean it. All right, now I am sterile. I have sterile hands, I've got a sterile belly. Back part of me, remember, is not sterile. I can't see what's going on back there, so it is never considered sterile. Now I have to get to my sterile field, but I've got obstacles in the way. So staying 12 to 18 inches away from my prep stand, I'm going to lean backwards and kick it with my foot and just roll it out of the way. Now I can enter my sterile field. I'm gonna have to come around on this side. going to talk about doing our back table again. So back table, we're going to separate into 3 parts. We want to have basins, instruments, and drapes. So I opened my back table before and I threw all my supplies on, and I knew that my drapes wanted to be on this side, so I opened my drape exactly where I wanted it to be. Now I can pile my other drapes on top, putting them in the reverse order we're going to use them. So the last thing we're going to use is our big laparotomy drape. There's our 3/4 sheet. Here are our utility drapes. So the first thing we're going to use is utility drapes, then our 3/4 sheet, then our laparotomy sheet. So these are all in order of how I'm going to use them now. I also have a surgeon's gown. I know that I need to gown and glove the surgeon before I need to drape. So I put my surgeon's gown on top of my drapes. Now I have my basin. I can start unloading my basin. I take out my light handles, I take out my suction tubing. My suction tubing, I'm going to go ahead and put the suction tip on. I'm going to point the suction tip away from the outside world. I want to keep it safe and protected on my back table. I like to put my towels here next to my drapes so I know where they are at.